Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back. So, really fun discussion topic video today regarding the recent Digimon survey that went live asking fans what they wanted to see from the future of the franchise. It does really look like Digimon's trying to dig their heels into the Western market, at least to a much larger degree than previously. And some of the options for future Digimon games that were there were kind of wild. And while I don't think realistically most of these are going to come to fruition, I thought it'd be fun to sort of look at them, speculate a little bit on how these games would actually work, but even more so on which types of games would be actually pretty cool to see, at least in my opinion. I recorded the next part of this video sort of off the cuff, so it's a lot less formatted and more casual, but I think that you guys will enjoy this little discussion. So with that being said, make sure to sit back, relax, subscribe for more Digimon and monster taming content, and let's dive in. Alright guys, so I'm here on the Digimon Games questionnaire. This questionnaire, as of the time of this video going live, will have expired, so you won't be able to participate in it anymore. I did mention it in Monster Tamer News last week, so if you missed it, unfortunately, it is what it is. It's not a big deal, but basically this questionnaire wants to know a few things like, you know, your age and stuff, you know, which Digimon games you've played, and then the interesting stuff, which is what this video is about. Yeah, this is some of the games here that they're asking if you've played are also something that's kind of interesting. They specifically asked about Survive, the Digimon World games, and Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, and then there's a couple others, but I think these are like the three main ones. They're trying to figure out if they want to make more Digimon World games, games like Digimon Survive, aka like a novel type game, or if they want to go for Digimon Story. Now, this is what I found interesting, and I don't think they would actually make half of these, but I just think it's interesting that they're even on the table. So, and also there's a couple of options. I'll play it if it's free, so, you know, that's where the MOBA people are going for sure. But then there's also, like, definitely buy it, maybe I'll buy it, etc. But these are some of the game ideas, okay? So, first up, there's a puzzle game, which I guess, like, if you're into puzzle games, but the thing about me is if it's like a sort of like puzzle, like a puzzle game, right? Like would it just be like another game like Tetris or something with like a Digimon skin? That doesn't really interest me very much. A party game like Mario Party, though, that sounds kind of interesting. I definitely play something like that. I don't know how it would play, but, you know, kind of interesting. Now, a fighting game, this is a thing with fighting games. Digimon has the Rumble Arena games, so this might be them trying to see if people would be interested in a future Digimon Rumble, which, I mean, I'd be down for. A shooting game I also find kind of interesting, like Call of Duty or Battlefield. I don't really know how a Digimon game would play out as like a first-person shooter. Maybe a third-person shooter where like you could play as different Digimon and they have like different abilities. Like, for example, Gargomon, aka the evolution of Terriermon, would be like a playable character. He's got like the machine gun arms. You could have like Gunmon. You could have some of the other Digimon as well that have like guns in their sort of repertoire. That could be interesting as like a, you know, spin-off title. I wouldn't want to see the Digimon franchise become Call of Duty. An action RPG is also very interesting. Now, I don't think they'd make a game where you could take control of every single Digimon. Those types of games tend to be very difficult to make and take a lot of resources. If you can control every single monster in the entire game, you're going to either end up sacrificing the individuality of a lot of the monsters, making them feel sameish, or you're going to end up sacrificing the combat itself. But what I will say is if they do have an action RPG where maybe you get a select, you know, few Digimon that you can use, or maybe you play as a human with some like special powers that can summon Digimon and the Digimon are like AI, I could see that working out pretty interestingly. MMO, we've already had Digimon MMOs. I'm not a fan of MMOs when it comes to Digimon, just because we already know the recent ones have been kind of bad. And a lot of them are like heavily pay to win. A TRPG, that's Digimon Survive without the graphic novel aspect. I think that could be interesting. I'd keep the graphic novel aspect, to be honest. I'd be down for Digimon Survive too. I think Digimon Survive was actually a lot of fun. And they could expand on the tactical aspects. Pixel art RPG. You guys are gonna kill me for this. I've never actually played or really seen anything from Octopath Traveler. I'm guessing a pixel art RPG just refers to, same with Sea of Stars, never played it. I'm guessing that's just like a normal RPG. I'd be down though, right? Like a pixel art RPG would be sick, right? If they had like look at the game Dragonrod's developing, Digimon Story Shadow Over the Past, right? The fan game. I'd love to see something like that, like an actual or even like if they were to do a remaster of Digimon World 3. Right? I mean, the 3D models in that game definitely haven't aged well, but the pixel art's nice. 2D action adventure, Metroid game. So a Metroid game would be dope. A Digimon Metroidvania, I think, could really work if they have like a certain amount of different Digimon that you can control, or, and this would be kind of cool, this isn't technically an action adventure, but what if they took Monster Sanctuary's premise, where it's a Metroidvania and you have turn-based combat, and made a Digimon game out of that, right? So it's a Metroidvania, but when you interact with the enemies, it actually becomes a turn-based game. That would be pretty cool. They could also have you control certain Digimon, and it be sort of like, you know, a Digimon mystery dungeon equivalent to Pokemon, but instead of it being like top-down, it could be like a Metroidvania game. That would also be kind of cool. Battle Royale, I don't really see it happening. And on top of that, like, Battle Royales require a lot of players. I don't see a Digimon Battle Royale standing up to Apex or Fortnite or Warzone or anything like that. Honestly, I'm not interested in that. A strategy game could be cool. I'm guessing this is, again, I haven't played some of these games. You guys are gonna laugh at me, but hack and slash would be sick too, right? Like, I feel like a hack and slash game would be really cool. Maybe, I don't know if you'd have like a bunch of different Digimon that you can use, or if they put Diablo. I don't remember Diablo being a hack and slash. I could be wrong about that. I played Diablo 3. It played more like I could have sworn it played more like a kind of like a game with like RuneScape or League, like a game with like abilities that you use on your keyboard. I don't remember. I haven't played in forever, but a hack and slash would be cool. Something like God of War. That'd be pretty cool. A roguelike, I'm gonna be honest, there's a lot of roguelike monster taming games. I'm not a huge fan of roguelikes personally. A MOBA, I would definitely say no, because it would just be pay to win, or it would just be, you know, another. I'm not into it personally. You guys can disagree, that's fine. Souls-like, please. That'd be amazing. This is purely because I like Souls-like games. I think a Dark Souls Digimon game would be dope. I don't know how it would function. I don't even know if it would make sense, but it would be sick. I feel like they could have a Digimon game, and I'd cover it. I don't care if you guys say it's not a monster tamer. I'd cover it. If they had a Digimon spin-off where it's like Dark Souls, but all the enemies, and like you play as like a human, or maybe even you play as a Digimon. You play as like Leomon or something, like a humanoid Digimon. And maybe the game, all the bosses in the game, so instead of like Sif from Dark Souls, you'd have like Metal Garurumon. Like all the bosses would essentially be Digimon, right? All the enemies would be Digimon, but you play as a singular Digimon, or maybe you have a choice between a few Digimon, and it's mostly just an action combat game. I'd cover it. I don't care. Digimon's a monster taming franchise. If they have a spin-off like that, I'd freaking cover it. Social communication, I'm not really interested, guys. I do enough not socializing in real life. I don't need to ignore people in the game, so I'm not really into like an Animal Crossing game. And then a card game, I know a lot of people that are into the TCG would like that. I think it would be good for the Digimon franchise to do a card game. It probably wouldn't be something that I cover too much in depth, though, just because it's not really my thing. But there are a lot of cool and interesting ideas. I think the most feasible idea for ideas that I think would get a lot of sales, despite what I think is popular myself, I don't see a puzzle game doing super well. I honestly, as much as I think a Digimon party game would be sick, I don't really see it doing too crazy, unless it's more like Pokemon Stadium, where like there's Digimon battles and there's also mini games on the side. Unfortunately, and I would love to see another Digimon Super Rumble or whatever it's called. I played the first one on the channel a while back with you guys. As much as I'd love to see that, I don't think it would sell crazy well, unless it was like like Pokken levels of like, you know, graphical fidelity, and they had a lot of marketing behind it. Shooting, same thing. I don't really see that happening. I think an action RPG could happen though. I definitely think an action RPG for Digimon would be pretty cool, especially if you can summon various Digimon. I feel like an MMO could do well if it was something that was actually like not pay to win. Another tactical RPG I think would also do well. Digimon Survive sold pretty well for what it was. I don't think it's going to have massive widespread appeal, but I think it could do decent. Pixel art RPG I honestly think would do really well. I think a lot of people would love a retro-themed Digimon game. If the pixel art's solid, like, let's say Coromons or Cassette Beasts, and it's like a nice RPG where there's like, you know, fun characters, there's a lot of exploration, a lot of content, it's not too grindy, I think it could do really well. I think a 2D action adventure like Metroid, like I said, I think if Digimon wanted to have like a mystery dungeon equivalent, they could do that with a Metroidvania theme to differentiate themselves. And you could have different Digimon that have different abilities and stuff. I think that'd be really cool. Or they could go the Monster Sanctuary route. I think that could do really well as well. A Battle Royale, I honestly don't think, I think it's too oversaturated. Strategy, maybe. I think a hack and slash would do well. Roguelike, maybe not. Souls-like, as much as I think it would be awesome, it has potential. I think it'd be really, honestly, it could do really well. If they took my idea and, like, you know, you played as like Leomon or some other humanoid Digimon and you hunted down Digimon, I think that could do well. It just depends on the marketing and stuff. But I think overall the most likely games that are going to do really well for Digimon are going to be RPGs and games like it. Turn-based RPGs just seem to be where a lot of people are sort of wanting a Digimon game. More people want games like Cyber Sleuth. Some people have said there needs to be less dialogue. I tend to agree. I think we need a game that's more focused on gameplay. We got Digimon Survive for the heavy story-driven dialogue type games. Like we could use that for those. We have Digimon World for the raising, but I think for those that just want to get into exploration and battling, a new Digimon RPG would be sick, whether it's 3D or pixel art. But that's pretty much it for the video, guys. I just thought this was such an interesting topic not to talk about it, so I hope you guys enjoyed this more casual format. I just want to say special thanks to my supporters, especially Jim Hamilton, Dro Ghost, Candy Morency, and TragSoft. Don't forget to subscribe for more Digimon and monster taming content, and I'll see you next time. Peace.